Yeah, you have to remember that this is still, as much as you're excited about the seasons happening, you still have to remember you have to play the game. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football back at it again. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on everything college football, pro football, Madden, EA college football, NFL draft, anything related to American football, hit the red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also, the like button too, and follow on Twitter/X. That family is growing. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys, in one of the more bonehead displays of what to do multiple days, again, very like single hand level amount of days before your team is about to play, is do something like this. So here you are. It says when a Nebraska football player breaks into your store, and again, this is update. Eric Gilbert has been arrested on burglary charges in Lancaster County. That's where Lincoln, Nebraska is. The former LSU, Georgia, and current Nebraska tight end was awaiting a waiver for the NCAA to play this season. He stole over $1,600 from a liquor and vape shop. And as you can see, that's him right here. Oh my God, just wait for him. So he's going to get all of his stuff. And it says he's fast, but the police officers are all right there, and he's walking out with all of his stuff, and then he drops it and sees he is under arrest. And there he is. So he just traded his football career for some vapes. Terrible. So he was one of the top players of the country. He was the number 10 overall recruit according to 247 Sports when he came out. Goes to LSU during 2020, has 35 catches, 368 yards, then transfers, again, this might be a situation here, transfers to Georgia, spends 2 years there, only catches 2 passes, transfers again to Nebraska with 3 full seasons of eligibility. And what does he do while he's waiting for his transfer to go through? He does this. Formerly top 10 player in the country out of high school to now getting arrested and more than likely being kicked off of Nebraska's team. And the crazy thing about this is he was one of the first guys that Matt Rhule came in and brought in. So again, you see the fact here that he committed on 12/21/2022, and Matt Rhule started with the team November 26, 2022. So again, less than a month after he joined the team, Matt Rhule did, he brought in Eric Gilbert because he's trying to turn the program around. When you're trying to turn a program around, you might take some chances on some players. You might take a chance on a guy. Again, you saw him. You saw the talent. Very, very clear out there. He was one of the top 10 players in the country in high school in the class of 2022, class of 2020. And now he's probably on his third team. And he's probably going to have to go to his fourth team, maybe even be done with football all over some vape pens. Again, you're going to take some chances because you're trying to build the program up. I bring that up to show you this meme out here because it encapsulates what I think Nebraska fans need to realize this season is going to look like. So right here, Husk Guys, it says 3 days until Nebraska football, and this happened.
I'm so excited! I'm so excited! I'm so scared!
Jesse.
Yeah, you have to remember that this is still, as much as you're excited about the seasons happening, you still have to remember you have to play the games. And Nebraska remembers last year they were a 5-7 team, new coaching staff. There's a reason why there's a new coaching staff, and it's usually not a good reason. So I want to talk to 5 fan bases right now and make sure that you understand something. You're excited about the football seasons coming up. We're all happy to be here. You should be excited too. But remember, you're still in a rebuild. Like I said, 5 teams. We're going to start off with number 5. Number 5 is the Stanford Cardinal. And again, this one is not as high as the other ones because the expectations are a little bit lower. If we come down here and check out how they've done in recent seasons, and again, David Shaw in the Jim Harbaugh era, and then the David Shaw era, even multiple classes into the David Shaw era, they were still doing well. 12-2, 10-3, 9-5, and then 9-4. And then 2019, they went 4-8. Then 4-2. Again, that would have, in a full season, that would have probably been an 8-4 kind of type of a year. And then 3-9, and then 3-9, and they went with Troy Taylor. Troy Taylor comes over from Sacramento State. They're going from an multiple tight ends, power run team to a spread team like they had at Sacramento State when he was there. It's an interesting thing to see that because, again, we'll see how they do. Typically, Stanford doesn't have a ton of team speed. That might have some guys, but not a ton. Typically solid at tight end, especially you saw that with the Jim Harbaugh and David Shaw eras. But you have to remember here, temper expectations. You're excited for the season to start. But keep in mind here, you're still in a situation where David Shaw, one of your best coaches you've ever had, is being replaced. And in the last true season of the Pac-12, we're going to see it's going to be a difficult road here. So the first one here at Hawaii. And Hawaii just went to Vanderbilt and had a pretty good game there. Again, they only lost by 7. But then you see at USC, we'll see how that goes. Sacramento State going up against Troy Taylor's old team, and then Arizona at home, and then Oregon at home. If you can leave September with 2 wins, you're going to be absolutely jacked there. And then at Colorado after a bye week, we'll see what happens there. UCLA, Washington, at Washington State, at Oregon State, Cal, and then your other team that you play from your non-conference schedule is Notre Dame. So it's going to be a difficult road. Stanford Cardinal fans, again, for all of you that are out there, I know most of you are alumni, but for all of you fans out there, just temper expectations. You know you're excited, but just make sure you understand what it is. At number 4 here, we have the Auburn Tigers. Auburn is a very unique program because they are judged on the basis of how they do against Alabama, but they don't have nearly as many resources or as history as Alabama. Still very solid, don't get me wrong. But we come down here and see what they've done in recent years. So again, they got rid of Gene Chizik, who won a national championship. Gus Malzahn in his first year goes to a national championship, loses it ultimately, and then they get rid of him. So they paid for Gus Malzahn to not coach there. They paid for Brian Harsin to not coach at Auburn, and then they're paying Hugh Freeze to not coach at Liberty. They're paying 3 coaches right now to not coach where they're supposed to be coaching. So again, they're serious. But you see, that means that for Hugh Freeze, again, he's had some success at Ole Miss, turned it around, did a really good job there. We'll see what he can do. But I do know that, again, it's going to be a very, very difficult road for these guys because not only do they have to play Alabama and Georgia this season, it's still just an SEC West schedule. So it should be solid. Again, Saturday, you're playing UMass. You should be okay there. And then you play at Cal, who is a 4-8 big or Pac-12 team. It's going to be a late night game. So again, that might be something there. And then Samford. So your non-conference schedule is Samford, UMass, and New Mexico State. You should be able to handle that. At Cal, we'll see what happens there. And then you enter into SEC play. At Texas A&M, Georgia at home, at LSU, Ole Miss at home. That's a ridiculous stretch of games right there. And then you have Mississippi State, you have at Vanderbilt and at Arkansas, and then you end the season against number 4 Alabama. So your home ranked games, you have to play Georgia, number 1, you have to play Alabama, number 4, and you have to play Ole Miss, number 22, and you have to go visit number 5. That is going to be a brutal schedule. Again, you like what Hugh Freeze does, you like where he's going, but it's going to take a little bit of time. Auburn fans, remember here, it's still a rebuild. All right, number 3 is the Florida Gators. And the big reason why I think fans need to remember here is because there's a lot of hope actually for Florida right now. Doug Lanning's doing a really good job with this program in a lot of ways other than the win column. Again, he's only had one opportunity this last season. He went 6-7, losing record. They lost to Vanderbilt. They lost by a gazillion to Oregon State. I know it was a bowl game, and so not everybody was there. But again, this program is being judged by these years down here. So you see these 13-1, 13-1, 13-1. That's what this program is being judged by, despite the fact that, again, last couple of years, 8-4, which was solid in 2020, and then 6-7 and 6-7. Have not had a winning season since the COVID year. So we'll see what happens there with those guys. But Doug Lanning is doing a really good job. They just need to be patient because this is a process of rebuild. He's doing a good job off the field. He has to turn on the field. I'll show you this to justify that. So this is 2024's recruiting class. So again, these guys right now, these are seniors in high school who are just starting to play right now. They will be on the field 1 year from now. Keep in mind, 1 year from now. We see Georgia number 1. Okay, Georgia's a solid team. Ohio State number 2. Florida number 3, ahead of Alabama, Florida State, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Michigan, LSU, ahead of all those teams. Florida, Doug Lanning is absolutely killing it. 2 5 stars, 14 4 stars. They are on fire. But is Florida and are the Florida fans going to give him enough time to take this class, take whatever happens this season, and give him enough time to really develop a championship team? We'll see, but we know that the schedule is only going to get tougher from here. So the one thing, and the reason why I had Florida, make sure that all of those fans need to understand and temper expectations more than Ole Miss, is because Ole Miss is actually going to benefit from merging with the SEC East. The SEC East has Georgia, who's the top of the line, but then it doesn't have as many championship programs compared to the SEC West. The SEC West is loaded. Now, when they merge, Florida, now all of a sudden, you're going to have to drop a couple at Vanderbilts. They're going to have to drop a couple of Kentuckys. I actually like what you've done, Kentucky, but I'm saying you're going to have to add in more LSUs. You're going to have to add in more Alabamas and so on. And also Texas and Oklahoma come in too. That's for everybody in the league. But we see here this schedule. So you've got Utah on the road. They are a really good team. Now, again, they do have their quarterbacks out, but they're kind of a running team. McNeese State, you should be able to handle that. And then we have Charlotte. You should be able to handle that. So your non-conference schedule is McNeese State, Charlotte, but then at Utah, and then Florida State at home, the number 8 team in the country. You also play at the number 5 team versus the number 1 team in the country. So it is going to be very, very difficult for these guys going forward. But Doug Lanning's got the program going in the right direction. Is he going to get enough time? We'll see. And then number 2, remember here, I am so excited about the Colorado Buffaloes here, but it is crazy when you think about what these guys are going through because of how much of a turnaround it is. So Colorado, the reason why they're not number 1 is because of how many good quality players they have coming in and also how low the expectations are. You look at it right here. So other than the fact that we had 2016 and we had 2020 where it was a shortened season. They had not gone to a bowl game before that since the 2007 Independence Bowl, and they had a losing record that season. These last couple years, 1-11, 4-8, 4-2 during COVID, and then 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, and then 10-4, and then 4-9, 2-10, 4-8, 1-11, 3-10, 5-7. Basically, everybody who's growing up here, all the kids that are on this team for Colorado, they do not know Colorado as a winner. All the kids who are on the program right now. But Deion comes in, Jackson State won a ton of games, does really well. And think about this roster overhaul. Everybody says here, oh, well, I can't believe what he's doing. Well, you have to remember what he's taking over. He's taking over a 1-11 team. Remember here, he's got 86 new players on the roster. There's very few holdovers. That's the reason why. Remember, 1-11, and now there's 86 new players. That's what you need to do in these instances. Now, I am excited about these guys. Again, their over-under for the win total was 3.5, and I may or may not have bet the over. You know what I'm saying? May or may not have bet the over. But we look at what they have here. At TCU, who replaces a ton of people, and then Nebraska at home, Colorado State at home, and then we have again, the Pac-12 schedule is going to be tough. Oregon's tough. USC's tough. Arizona State, we'll see what happens with them. Stanford's got a new coach. UCLA should be tough. Oregon State will be tough. Arizona's improving. Washington State's always stingy. And then Utah as well. So there's a lot of things that's going to happen with those games. I know that Oregon was talking a little bit about Colorado. So we'll see how that game is on September 23rd. But again, more than likely, remember here, I'm excited about what Coach Deion does. But you got to temper expectations. It's still a rebuild. And then the number one fan base that I want to know and make sure you understand that it is still rebuilt is the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I have one of my good friends, one of my best friends in the world is a Nebraska Cornhusker. And unfortunately, the team is going through a transition. You already saw the Art Gilbert whole situation. They've got a new quarterback in there. They got tons of transfers. They're trying to figure things out. But we see the fact that they have not had the success recently as the other teams have. So in addition to the fact that, again, we haven't had a winning season since Mike Riley in 2016, they've gone 4-8, 4-8, 5-7, 3-5, 3-9, and then they went, what is that? That's 4-8 as well this last season. Now, again, they did have a really good win against Iowa at the end of the season there, but man, you're just hoping for something to turn around because not only are they in a similar situation as Florida, where Florida's in the SEC East, they merged with the SEC West, the more complete side of the bracket. Won't say the tougher, we'll say the more complete side. Nebraska will merge with the Big Ten East, which is a ton of dogs. And also there's going to be Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC coming into town as well. And you see the schedule right here. I saw my boy, Will Compton. He said he sees at least 3-0, 4-0 start, and then Michigan, you lose, you know. But again, look at it here. So you start on the road at Minnesota tomorrow night. You got at Colorado, a rivalry game with a new coach, with a team you don't really know what's going to happen. Then you have NIU, Louisiana Tech, 2 games you should handle. You've got Michigan at home, number 2 team in the country. You've got a short week against at Illinois, and then Northwestern, a team you want to get back at. And then Purdue, Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and then Iowa at the end there. Now think about that. That schedule these next year is going to have some combination of Washington and Oregon and USC and UCLA. More of those opportunities. More opportunities for Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. So again, I want to make sure everybody understands this. You're excited about your team. But if you are the Nebraska Cornhuskers under Matt Rhule first year, remember, it's still year 1. Everybody's really excited. Football's back. I just want to make sure that those 5 fan bases understand. Again, Stanford is going to get tough. First of all, you don't even know if you have a conference anymore. Okay, you see the fact Colorado, again, 86 new players. Nebraska, you don't really know what's going to happen. You just got your number 1 player in the country kicked off your team. Well, number 10 in the country in 2020. You've got Florida, who has to deal with a bunch of stuff here. Again, it's year 2 for Doug Lanning. But if he can get to year 3, that's when that amazing 2024 class comes in. And then you have Auburn, who is in a situation where their schedule is going to be super tough. Again, all those fan bases, just stay patient. It might not happen this year, but if you stay patient, next year, things will turn your way, I'm betting. All right, guys, get in the comments right now. Which other fan base do you think needs to temper expectations on what's going to happen this season? I know we're excited. Football's back. Let's go. We're going to have football up until early February. It's awesome like that. However, again, you need to be realistic here. You get your excitement over everything like that. What do you guys think? A better question, who do you guys think needs to kind of temper expectations? You guys let me know. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that stuff. I appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.